Auckland to take the kick-off. Jean Namu taking the start. And Adelaide to bring it out from their own line. And met by some very willing Auckland defence. And pushed back a couple of metres. Kerrod Walters just goes from dummy half to pick up Darren Doherty. Doherty, 25 metres out from his own line.
As now the Adelaide Rams make their way out onto Marathon Stadium for the first time. Again, they've got their alternative strip. The yellow and the blue. Kerrod Walters leading this side out. His last match for the Rams. Let's have a look at their starting lineup for today. And from the back, a mixture of some experienced players and some young up-and-comers, the likes of Rod Jensen on the wing and Dion Bird at fullback. Harves, Williamson and Goldthorpe. An attack, as I mentioned, Kerrod Walters captain.
Himself for the high kick towards Delani's wing. Adelaide go forward, it'll come down the Rams' way. Kicked again by Quinn, picked up by Stacey Jones. Quinn chases and makes the tackle.
Ran very well from dummy half.
Kerrod Walters, the NEC man of the match. The Adelaide Rams get home by 2. Full-time score, Adelaide 22, Auckland 20.
Hello. Welcome to Rampage, the rugby league podcast in the Festival State. My name's Aidan. I'm a big rugby league fanatic here in South Australia, and I'm joined with Darren and Simon. How are you, fellas?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, good.
Very well, thanks, Aidan.
How's everyone? Awesome. So, this is our inaugural podcast and we're excited to basically present to you rugby league from the South Australian perspective. So, today we've got a few things to talk about.
Definitely. I think the first thing we probably should talk about is why we started the podcast, why we started the Bring Back the Rams movement. Since it was a couple of years ago, me and Aidan kind of started talking and we made the Facebook page. So you want to start talking about, I can start off from my end. I moved to Adelaide a couple of years ago, and obviously there's no league here, no league team, and I was very, very interested in why we haven't got a league team in Adelaide. Started the Facebook page. Aidan got back to me within a couple of weeks. We had like one follower to start with. It was really slow. Then I think we shared around all our friends and people around Adelaide. Aidan, we started the Jumbuck Army, where Aidan kind of took the lead for a while I was away. You want to have a chat about that, Aidan?
Absolutely. So, Bring Back the Adelaide Rams is sort of like the movement that Simon and I sort of helped start. And, our motivation really, like Simon said, bring back the Adelaide Rams, or just have an Adelaide, club in the NRL. Because we believe that the NRL should really be what its name, is the National Rugby League. And you can't be a National Rugby League if you don't have a team in Adelaide. So we started the Jumbuck Army, as we call ourselves, fans of the Adelaide Rams, the history of the Adelaide Rams, and fans of rugby league in South Australia in general. We started off small, but now we have nearly 500 members by the looks of it. So some steady growth to go, lots of room to go. Promoting rugby league in South Australia, it is a bit of a task, but we are doing the best we can. And we're joined by many other passionate rugby league fans in the state, not just in Adelaide, but also in other parts of South Australia too. So we can see the game grow there. And, we've done lots of things in regards to our support and trying to get more people talking, more voices involved in rugby league. We've even discussed it with the SA government at one point, didn't we, Simon?
We did, yes. It was good that obviously it was hard at the start because no one really talks about rugby league in South Australia, but I've definitely noticed the past kind of, we'll say, 2 months, because of State of Origin, the amount of interest that's shown for rugby league fans around South Australia. Like this week in the heart of Adelaide, they've got all the signage up for Origin, and I've actually heard people talking about the Adelaide Rams, like, why don't we have a team? So I'm like, I've been wearing my merch around, thanks to Dead Set Stitch Up, the shirts, the Adelaide Rams shirts, And yeah, like if we can, I've got the petition on the Facebook page, and I think we've got about 500 signatures on the petition as well. So that's, I mean, we had like 3 or 4 signatures for like the first month. So it's definitely gone up this year by about 300 signatures, which is great to hear. Like,
Excellent. And that number's going to grow as more people get more involved and, start to understand the game of rugby league better in Adelaide. So I'm sort of like predicting that after Origin, when some of the, I guess, new fans or neutral fans come to watch the game, they're going to realise how great this game actually is, be interested in it, start to follow the NRL, and then start to really want, a team from Adelaide to join. So it's fantastic to see the growth in the interest in the game, as well as the growth and participation as well over the last few years as well. Seeing our juniors grow and develop through the game is excellent, especially our women's.
Definitely, yeah. They had that as a competition last week. I was seeing on the SA Facebook page.
Yes.
It's great to see the ladies out there, and it'd be great to see a ladies NRLW team, Adelaide Rams. That would be massive.
That would be that would probably be the biggest game changer of the game, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. I think that'd be probably easier to get first up than an NRL team, because there's a lot of ladies around that are very keen on rugby league, which is good.
Yeah, and I also think that there was a spike of interest when it was announced on the news that the NRL was planning to expand to 20 teams by 2032, I believe, in line with the Brisbane Olympics. So there was a news a couple of weeks ago. The NRL is considering, like Peter Verlaine is considering, actively looking into expanding to 3 more teams, right? So now what I've been seeing is that all the rugby league clubs that want to join the NRL, like the Falcons, Brisbane Tigers, Bears, etc., are now really, really trying to fight for that 18th position. Yeah. But the NRL sort of guaranteed that there will be 2 more positions afterwards. And Adelaide was mentioned in the news as a potential contender. Now, I think that news of Adelaide being considered a potential contender really started to re-spark the interest in rugby league, because people now think, oh yeah, why can't Adelaide do it?
Sure. It's funny we say that when we found out about the Valandis on the news about the 20 teams, because I sent you a screenshot of it on the TV, Adelaide a possibility, and within a few hours, our group and our Instagram and our Jumbuck Army, the interest of like around Australia, it just exploded. Like I think you had an interview in the Advertiser. Like it was amazing, the interest just from a news story, and then obviously Origin next week. Like the interest in league in Adelaide, I think it hasn't been as high since probably when the Adelaide Rams got kicked out of the comp.
I think so. And I'm sort of like suspicious. I reckon the NRL must have planned, that sort of news segment in line with Origin to really get the interest up.
Oh, definitely, 100%.
I definitely think they've definitely planned this ahead. And like you said, the interest sparked up. We started getting some pieces in the Advertiser. Some of the presidents of some of the NRL SA clubs were interviewed. I also had a piece in there as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so lots of interest coming in. And we even had a SEN New Zealand interview us, talking about Adelaide Rams and talking about, potentially an Adelaide NRL team. Lots of communication, regardless of whether it's Adelaide Rams bringing back sort of ideas or relocated club ideas or whatever. As long as Adelaide is being, spoken about and Adelaide's in the story, in the picture, that's what's important to us, is, associating NRL with Adelaide. That's really what we want. Because we want a team, and we need to get that interest coming up. We want one of those 3 expansion clubs, basically. Whether it's the 18th or the 20th, we want a spot.
Absolutely. And just while we're talking about media coverage, I was approached by Channel 9 News from Sydney. They're interested in talking to myself and Simon. I think they're looking at doing that on the weekend. And that's all about the Rams.
That'd be great. To be that coverage will, if anyone sees an Adelaide, it would be great for the Rams.
Absolutely.
Yes. And then so I'll talk back to we'll talk about I can't remember what we're talking about, to be serious. But back on the Rams, when it broke the 18-20 teams, I got a message from deadsetstitchup.com to make Adelaide Rams shirts, and I've got them now. They're in our on our Facebook page, and the amount of people that now have bought Adelaide Rams shirts, it's about 70 or 80 people so far, which is great. So I've seen a few people around Adelaide walking down the street, and I'm like, hold on a sec, that's the shirt. That's my shirt. Where'd you get that from? Did you steal it from my line? I'm like, actually, they've bought that from deadsetstitchup.com. So jump on if you haven't bought one yet.
Definitely. I've got mine.
You've got yours, yeah.
Just waiting for it to arrive. I can't wait to...
Wait, Aidan to buy his shirt.
Oh, sorry, I've got to get on that.
Yeah.
I'll get on that very soon, Simon.
Very good, very good.
Yeah. Anything to support the Rams.
Definitely.
Or Adelaide coming back to the NRL.
We definitely just need a team. I always, just daydream about, imagine if the Titans moved. Because, or imagine if we had the Bears come. Or you see a team, you're like, imagine if they just moved to Adelaide. Or even just got a couple of games here. Or done the partnership they've done with, was it Hawthorn in the AFL, how they played games in Tasmania. And now,
that's right.
Now Tasmania have a team coming. So that could be a possibility. Just have a few games in Adelaide. Get them people on the seats, and get your own team. Be great.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Can you imagine a Friday night? We have a game, an AFL game at Adelaide Oval. We have NRL at High Marsh.
Yeah.
Just think how Adelaide will be buzzing.
You wouldn't have time to sit on the couch, would you? You'd be always out watching events, which is, I think the government want Adelaide to be, because I think a few years ago Adelaide was kind of getting pretty boring because of COVID and stuff, and there's the Fringe Festival and stuff. So if we had imagine Adelaide Oval Friday night, Port versus the Crows, and then Saturday the Rams versus the Storm or something. It'd be awesome.
It would be, definitely.
Or if they time the Adelaide versus Melbourne NRL match after the showdown, like you just said, that would be an absolute thriller, because you definitely get booked out. You get booked out seats for those games, and the economic activity would be huge, because you got the showdown, which is the biggest rivalry in AFL, and then you got the Adelaide versus Melbourne Storm in the NRL, which could help sort of restart the old SA Victoria football rivalry, definitely. But in the NRL, so that'd be pretty cool.
Definitely cool. Have a bit chat about Origin next week. Hasn't been to SA for a few years since kind of COVID hit.
Yes.
That is going to be massive. The teams came out on Tuesday. Aidan, did you look through the teams, and any surprises that you were like, wow, how did you get in the team?
Probably just to ask Darren this one.
Yeah. So what do you reckon, Darren? So the Queensland team, I look at it and I'm like, so Reece Walsh at fullback, I'm like, wow, that's a big risk. He's been playing great for Brisbane, but Kalen Ponga, to get him out. I know he's had some concussions this year, but I think Reece Walsh, he's been formed, but Origin is just a different level.
That's right.
How's he going to go, do you reckon?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Very interesting to see, because playing club football on the weekends is totally different to what you'll expect in Origin. It goes up a level, and
definitely,
I'm very surprised by some of the players that made the teams.
Like Reece Walsh, I watched the Panthers play the Broncos, it was last week, and the way Cleary was targeting with the bombs, he did make a couple of errors, and that's going to be magnified in Origin. He's going to have to play a big game on debut in front of all of us in Adelaide, all the Blues fans that come. I'm a Queensland fan, so I'm sorry about that, but there'll be a lot of Blues fans there. I think the kicking game from both halfbacks is going to be a major key. Cherry Evans, you got Munster. I don't see Jerome Luai as a really great kicker of the ball.
No, I agree there. Yes.
Cleary's a great kicker. You've got
Yes.
Appy Coruscant. He's okay, and then you've got Ben Hunt, who's a halfback. He's in hooker role. So Queensland have a good kind of kicking, like a few players that they can kick real well.
That's right. It's true. Yes.
Do you see? I don't know if you've seen this, Aidan. I watched it on Adelaide 360 the other day. That was it Tavita Panga Jr. He was a Queensland fan. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, and he's playing for New South Wales. Like that. That's hilarious. His favourite players were Queenslanders, and he was it 2018 came out and said I'd play for Queensland, and now he's been picked for New South Wales.
How does that work? How does New South Wales and Queensland choose the players? Is it just
It's where you first played junior
Yeah,
league.
I think they changed it to before the age of 18 or 16. If you play in New South Wales or Queensland, that's your state.
okay? Right.
But to say he was a New South Walesman and he's like, I want to play for Queensland. I've seen a lot of players in the past that have wanted to play for Queensland that are New South Wales players. Greg Inglis, for one. He's a New South Walesman and he wanted to play for Queensland. So yeah, it's quite funny to see that first hit up from Pankai Jr. against Queensland. I think it's going to be on.
Oh, for sure, definitely.
I think who else has been picked that's kind of I'm trying to think of his name now, plays for Newcastle. Dane Gagai didn't get picked. He's been a Queensland hero for years. He's always, even in club footy, if he's not playing great, he steps up for Queensland. Like most Queensland players do, they rise another level.
Definitely.
And he's been cut. Kurt Catewell, he played a few years ago in the centres for Queensland, and he's been cut. And then they're talking about loyalty and stuff, but then you go to New South Wales and there's Damien Cook, gone.
Yeah. Yep.
He's been he hasn't been playing fantastic, but his club South were on the top of the ladder until last week.
Absolutely, that's right.
But I think Appy Coruscant he's a big inclusion. He's been the last 3 weeks when the Tigers been winning, he's been great. So it's good to see Appy. I'm a big fan of Appy Coruscant. I think he's a great player.
Yes.
Yeah. Addo Carr's back after 1 week after his ankle injury.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but he's a big inclusion. He didn't play last year, which was a big thing because he's a great player. He's fast. He takes the meters after kicks. Tom Travojevic. After he's been kind of up and down. He hasn't been great, and then scores 3 tries on the weekend, and he's in the team. So I think Campbell Graham kind of missed out there. Aidan, what do you reckon?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Hudson Young in the Blues.
Hudson Young, yeah, he's been playing pretty well for the Raiders, yeah.
Yeah, from the Raiders.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Right.
both teams look very competitive. I don't think it's going to be a one-sided game. I think that the ref is going to have a big thing. It's Ashley Klein, I believe, as a ref, so he'll have a big bearing on the outcome. But them forward packs, Jai Arrow's on the bench. He's another one he's really aggressive. So.
Definitely.
Tino got off. He should have been suspended, but he's off.
Yes.
With they went to the head of Reid Marnie. So it's going to be good. Adelaide Oval is going to be packed. We'll have our Rams fans there. I was talking to one of the ladies on the going back to the Rams on the Rams page, and she was there when it was back during COVID, and she had an Adelaide Rams sign and Fox League. It was all over Fox League. It says, "Bring back the Rams." Got her in a New South Wales jersey.
Oh, awesome.
She's going to be there next
That's
Wednesday.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And she's going to bring the sign again. So I'm going to hopefully find her and get a photo with her because they'll go on the Rams page because she's a big Rams fan. But she goes for New South Wales, so that's a bit of a shame.
Oh.
There are a lot of Blues fans in Adelaide, though.
It's amazing. Yeah, Darren's a
yes.
Blues. It's amazing, how many people, when you talk Origin, come out and go, yeah, I support the Blues. I'm a Queensland fan, I'm like, where you been all year? I haven't seen you. So Origin brings it out in the rugby league fans in South Australia. It's great.
Yes.
I think so.
So I guess we're kind of starved for professional rugby league in the States. So when we get a big event like this, it just brings out all the rugby fans and maybe the other fans that just want to say, what is rugby league? And hey, I'll get a ticket and go. It's
definitely. I think that'd be great. Once they get the taste of the league, they might be like, oh, where's our team? That will give us that interest. And it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to boost interest in South Australia, and then fingers crossed we keep pushing, knock them doors down.
Yes.
Get that 20th team would be fantastic.
I'm just like generally, how to say, I'm actually sort of surprised that we don't have a team.
Yeah, a lot of people say that to me when I talk about the Rams. Like, why don't you just have a team? Like,
people talk about rugby league, NRL expansion, how NRL was not bold enough to expand South Australia, Victoria, Perth, etc. AFL states, whatever. Yeah, they had the Storm. The Storm's been successful, right?
Yeah.
In the AFL heartland, but honestly, they could have left the Adelaide Rams.
Definitely, when they cut them in, was it 99 when they cut Adelaide? They did.
Yeah.
They could have, if they kept Adelaide Rams and cut another New South Wales team. They could have. I think the Adelaide Rams would have been a massive success. Like, you look at the first year, the Rams, the crowds we got for the first year, I think they were like the fourth best in the league. Like, it was only because I feel that at that time the Crows were going great. It was the basketball, the 36ers were going great, and everyone was kind of like drawn to them, and the Rams were kind of like, as their first year, we had a few good players, but I feel like if we had a better team, the support's there. They just want to support a team that's winning.
Yes.
And the Rams in the second year, we weren't winning, and then we didn't even get a chance to rebuild because they just cut us.
That's it, exactly. Yes, yeah. Yep.
It wasn't just the lack of winning as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the Adelaide Rams had the support and everything as the only Adelaide team, and being a one club, one city franchise like the Storm, for example, is almost guaranteed for you to be successful.
Yeah, because there's no competition.
One state, one club, I should say.
Yeah.
Because you think about the Storm, right? Like the recent news about expansion and a potential second Victorian team.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that because the Storm represents
Melbourne,
the Melbourne.
Victoria,
Yeah, Victoria.
So was it 2021? They had the big Victoria V on their chest when we had lockdowns. They couldn't go because they represent Victoria. So they're basically the Victorian Storm.
That's it.
So they don't need another team. Queensland don't need another team.
Right, yeah.
They wanted. Was it the Brisbane Tigers? Tigers, and they were going to change the name. They wanted to go to Suncorp, and then you've seen after Magic Round how much the ground got torn up after them games. If they're going to have the Broncos, the Dolphins, and this new team, there's not enough fans in Brisbane. There's either going to be Brisbane or they're going to be Dolphins. They're not going to we're going to go for a new team now.
No.
Yeah, the Tigers barely get enough members as it is. So.
Yeah, the logic behind the Tigers NRL bid is that they want to represent the southern. I said something about southern part of Brisbane because that's the area where the Brisbane Lions and the AFL really target.
Yeah.
For their development, and they want to. It's basically like an anti-AFL sort of shtick. The East Tigers wanting to join the NRL, and they talk about old club heritage stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
it's
they got
funny.
everything, but honestly, another Queensland club, I don't think is going to be the right direction for the expansion of the game or spring the game.
It'd be interesting to see how when the Dolphins start losing a few games in a row and they're not so successful, how many people will go watch them play? Because I lived in Brisbane for 7 years. I was a Brisbane Broncos member, and when the Brisbane Broncos are playing well, it's like 40, 50,000. As soon as they start losing, no one rocks up. And with the Dolphins being a new team, everyone's it's a new toy. Yeah, this is great. If they start playing like the Tigers did for a while there, or Newcastle, and they're not any good, it's just going to be empty stadiums because they'll just support the Broncos because they're on top. There's not enough. I think people who want to support something new.
People will chop and change between Redcliffe and Brisbane.
100%. And there's a lot of Brisbane fans. And especially when they're going good. When they go terrible, not so much.
Did many Broncos fans switch over to Redcliffe when the Dolphins joined?
I did know a few that switched over, but a lot of people in the Redcliffe kind of area, just kind of.
They're all Dolphins now.
Dolphins fans, they'd be, we're going for the Broncos, but now the Dolphins are in. I'll go for the Dolphins because it's my area.
Because the Dolphins, they had a strong following within the Queensland Cup.
Definitely.
You know, one of the oldest Queensland clubs, and they're the most successful traditional Queensland club.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the Broncos, kind of similar to the Adelaide Crows, they were created to basically represent Queensland.
Yeah.
In the expanded, the NRL started off in
New South Wales Rugby League back in the day.
Yeah, that's right. So the Broncos were created to be a Brisbane, to be the representative of Queensland in that league.
Yeah.
And then added the other Queensland clubs, and now all the way up to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So the Broncos' story is very similar to, I guess, the Adelaide Crows, and the Dolphins is similar to Port Adelaide if you think about
100%. And then you got you think about it, you got Townsville, which is the Cowboys, but that's the whole of North Queensland.
And that's right. Yes.
So we've had another team in Brisbane. That's 3 Brisbane teams where the Cowboys have got their whole North Queensland, and then obviously the Titans have the Gold Coast. I was a Titans member for a year. Worst atmosphere of a ground I've ever been to.
Wow.
Really?
If you go to I don't know now, but when I went there, if you were the opposite team, so the opposing team, there's more fans. 100% of the time.
Wow.
So if you came with your Titans jersey on in your home game, you're going to get outdone by the opposition fans.
Oh, man.
Gold Coast people don't really care about rugby league.
Uh-huh.
They're not like us Adelaide people who love our rugby league, just need a team. But
Gold Coast people don't care about rugby league, don't care about AFL.
AFL, they get no one at their sons' games. Yeah, they just want to go to the theme parks and Cavill Avenue. That's about it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and as I was trying to say, going back a bit to sort of like the Adelaide Rams, and in regards to the analogy with Redcliffe and Port Adelaide, I think one of the reasons why the Adelaide Rams dropped in popularity and viewership and whatever was because when they joined, they started off in Super League in 97.
97, yep.
And then they had the initial NRL season, the inaugural NRL season 98. And then they folded after that, right? Well, they got chopped from the competition after that. Because back then, that's when the NRL was really big.
Yeah.
They had teams, and then they culled a lot of the clubs. The LA Rams basically joined in at the same time that Adelaide was getting a second AFL team.
Exactly.
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah. And the 36 were going great, and the Crows won the comp.
Yes.
We had a lot of competition to deal with, and
that's right.
Crows
So,
back to back.
Aussie Rules Heartland State.
Yeah.
Aussie Rules Mad fans. Their state AFL team, the Adelaide Crows, won the flag.
Yep.
And another AFL club, which is popular, Port Adelaide, joins. The Adelaide Rams really, like you said, had a lot of, it was an uphill battle, and I don't think it's just the timing was wrong. But I honestly believe that if you brought the Adelaide Rams back in now, there's no way they could fail.
No, I always hear that negative things about people online saying the Rams had your chance, you got kicked out. But yeah, as you said, it was the wrong time. You've had your chance, you got booted. But yeah, if we bring back now, the popular rugby league since back in 97, 98, they still got big crowds and it wasn't as popular. But now, 2023, we've had a couple of origins here now. Rugby leagues are way more popular than it was 20 years ago.
I think so.
Yeah, and I go around Glenelg and Henley Beach, and I'm walking around in my jersey of my team. I won't tell you who my team is. And I see Parramatta jerseys, South jerseys, Raiders jerseys, and I'm like, there's league fans here. If they had an Adelaide team, we'd see Adelaide Rams jerseys everywhere. As you said before, would be the only team in Adelaide. It'd be perfect. The market would be crazy.
No, it's 2 million. It's 2 million instant fans, basically.
100%, yeah.
2 million, guaranteed 2 million fans, right? You become one of the biggest clubs in terms of membership and support in the NRL, which is a mark of success, because the Sydney clubs, they really struggle in the department of membership and crowds and stuff like that. At least when you compare the Sydney clubs to AFL clubs, for example, membership's quite low. Only like the clubs like the Broncos and Storm, the sort of.
I think Parramatta have a lot of fans.
Yeah, they do.
Souths, but the rest of kind of New South Wales is pretty low. I look at the Manly Seagulls, the Cronulla Sharks, the Bulldogs. Their fans are pretty low compared to your Brisbane's, your Melbourne's, and your Parramatta's.
Yeah.
Obviously, if we had a team in Adelaide, that's all them people, and even people who don't want to be Rams fans, they'd come to watch their teams. Parramatta play the Rams, you get the
Yeah.
Rams fans from Adelaide, or South fans from Adelaide.
Exactly.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And I also, this is a controversial opinion, but I think that the Adelaide Rams would have been, if they stayed in the competition, would have actually been more popular than the Storm.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
there's a reason why I say this. Both South Australia and Victoria are, quote unquote AFL states or Aussie rule states, right? But the reason why the Adelaide Rams would have been more popular than the Melbourne Storm is because Melbourne Storm is in the AFL heartland.
Yep.
The capital of AFL.
Yes.
And so the people in Melbourne, they take AFL like a religion.
Definitely.
In
Yeah.
Adelaide, it's not so much like that. Adelaide people, the AFL fans, they love Aussie rules, but they don't treat the competition, the AFL, as a religion. They don't care about it as much as Melburnians. Controversial, I know, but I think because of that, the diversity in terms of sport interest is much more in Adelaide than it is in Melbourne.
Yeah, definitely. When I lived in Melbourne years and years ago now, I'd talk about rugby league on the train to random people. This was back when the Storm were pretty popular, and when they won a few comps, and it was like talking to people from a country. They had no idea what I was talking about. Then I mentioned, did you say the AFL? And then everyone perks their ears up like, did you say AFL? They all love it. And I think Adelaide will get behind any team that's successful. Like the basketball team, the 36ers, when they're successful, they get massive crowds. The soccer, they were going good. I can't remember the name of the soccer team. Adelaide.
Yeah, United.
Yes,
yep.
They've won a few titles, haven't they? They've been pretty successful.
Yes.
So they get big crowds. I've seen people walking around their jerseys on. If we had a successful team in Adelaide, people would get behind it 100%.
Oh,
Adelaide,
absolutely.
Adelaide United, just on that point of Adelaide United, right? Like you just said, Adelaide United being successful. Adelaide United came third in the A-League, made it to the semi-finals this year. They unfortunately got beaten by the Central Coast Mariners, unfortunately. But they made it that far, coming third in the A-League. Adelaide United has always had a strong, always been a strong club, and they won the A-League championship in 2016, I believe.
Yes. Yep.
And with that, actually, it was recorded. I can't remember when it was recorded. 2015, maybe, or there was recorded. They record how many fans. They do a poll, and they recorded how many fans the club has. Adelaide United, at that time when it was recorded, had 1.5 million fans, or 1.5 million people saying they were fans of the club. That's more than the Adelaide Crows or Port Adelaide. So when you have a one club, one state thing in Adelaide, right, you're going to unite all the supporters of whatever club in that state under that club, essentially. Because, people in South Australia, they love supporting their local teams,
100%.
I know people that still believe that the SANFL is, the equal to the AFL.
Yeah.
I
remember watching that last year.
Because of the old SA Victoria rivalry.
Yeah.
And it is, in my opinion, it is. But that's a topic for another time.
Yeah.
But
talk for hours about that. Yeah.
But in regards to Adelaide United, there is, the results speak for itself. It's a club that unites the city.
Yep.
It's a club that has a lot of passionate fans. Soccer is a very high participation sport in South Australia as well. Yep. So people got that connection to it. Rugby league, not so much a high participation sport, but having that one state, one club element.
Yeah.
I guarantee you're going to have at least 1.5 million fans supporting the Adelaide NRL club.
If you get a team in Adelaide, then kids will play it at school.
That's right.
And then kids will go, Mum, I want to play rugby league on the weekends, and that will boost the support. If you go now, they wouldn't know what rugby league is really. Would they go?
No.
They'd be like AFL mad. And talking about Adelaide, just back on Adelaide about their sport and the basketball, the A-League. We had the Live Golf here a couple of months ago.
That's right.
That was massive. The Adelaide International Tennis, I went to that. Massive. Adelaide people love sport. If we just get a little bit of taste, even a couple of NRL games here, as well as Origin, it will spike the interest in rugby league.
I think
definitely.
so.
Yes.
Definitely, yeah. So
and the thing Yeah. And like another thing you were mentioning before, Simon, about Melbourne Storm basically being the club for Victoria. That's like a lot of people are against the second Victorian team, right?
Yeah.
If the Adelaide NRL club came in and became the Storm equivalent, right, in SA, the South Australian NRL club, right? They become the South Australian NRL club. They establish themselves as the only club in South Australia. And then you had the like the matches, like we were saying before, between Adelaide NRL versus Melbourne Storm.
Yeah.
That in itself, I feel would be the popularity for that type of game, that type of showdown, would be somewhat the fever, the sort of popularity would be similar to State of Origin, basically.
Yeah. Victoria versus South Australia, 100%.
Because you got South Australia versus Victoria, basically.
Yeah.
It'd basically be like a mini or a second State of Origin. I don't understand why the NRL doesn't capitalise on this.
Yeah.
They can't. They're so short-sighted that they can't see how much support an Adelaide NRL team would have, and then how it'd be a sellout. The two Melbourne Storm versus Adelaide showdowns, one in Melbourne, one in Adelaide.
Yeah, imagine a Melbourne at the MCG or something. Like,
yeah,
it would sell out. It'd sell out.
Just for Adelaide coming because they know it'll be a sellout. Because that's what we see with Adelaide United versus Melbourne Victory in the A League. That is such a bad blood rivalry, and it's great for the game. 100%. It boosts up the game. We can have the same thing in NRL.
Definitely.
So, where does the serious push come from? Where does it start? Who has to light the fuse? Like, I know where you guys are both doing it with Facebook and now with the podcast, but does it have to come from the NRL SA? Does it have to come from the government? Where does the lighting of the fuse have to start?
So we need government support. I think Aidan agrees on this one. Government support. We do have a petition going. The more signatures, the better. I think the government kind of want us to get a lot of signatures. We've talked to the government. If we get 1,000 signatures, we'll hand that to the government and they can kind of bring it up in Parliament. I think Aidan, you can talk about this more, but if we kind of go too early and there's not enough signatures, it'll kind of be just squashed. Like, three people want an Adelaide team. Like, no, Yeah. But you want to talk about it more, Aidan?
Yeah. So, like we were saying before, we got in contact with the government of South Australia. I spoke in particular to the office of the Honourable Katrine Hildyard MP, the Sports Minister in South Australia, and also the Shadow Sports Minister, Peter, his name is. And they gave me sort of like some correspondence regarding that, right? And I've got the correspondence up here. Katrine Hildyard's office said to me that this is like their words. With regards to establishing a South Australian franchise for the National Rugby League competition, I encourage passionate supporters such as yourself to work with the NRL SA to develop a plan for potential investors to consider. And then she gave me the details for the state manager and everything. And so what that says to me is that the government wants a private sort of investment coming into this to really boost it. So we need I strongly believe that the spark has been started by the supporters, by the NRL SA itself, by developing the juniors, getting the participation up and everything, which is good. And the supporters that, whether they're from Adelaide or come from interstate and bring the game of rugby league with them. But the fire is going to come from the big investment. We need a big investor or a couple of investors to come in, completely revamp the NRL SA, revamp the competition, get it up to a really strong level, like I guess even on par with the Storm Premiership in Melbourne. Get the juniors up, participate up, potentially even get more NRL SA clubs, because at the moment we've only got 4 or 5, and get that thing started, right? And then that would start enough economic activity and enough interest from the government to basically put investment towards building a franchise. The NRL would have to help there, and the NRL have said that they're going to commit $400 million to expanding the 3 teams. Yeah. So, of course, they've got the money to set up a franchise here in Adelaide, as long as we get the investors to start developing our local league, our juniors, our development pathways, and then having that franchise will be, the icing on the cake, basically, because the juniors will know, hey, I could play for the Adelaide NRL through this pathway, so I'll continue with this game.
Definitely. So you definitely, we definitely need to get more support.
More support, financial support is absolutely
and that's
paramount.
where we've said it 1,000 times. The Origin, I'm hoping it will boost that, and some will go with a bit of money. We'll go, I'll back that. There's a lot of lovely, great South Australian companies that could get behind us, and it's not that hard.
Yeah, like Peligra.
Yes, yeah.
Peligra, they own the Adelaide Baseball Club, the Adelaide Giants, who won the baseball flag last year, which was earlier this year, which was excellent. I was there, and we won the 43 year drought. Amazing. Awesome. They also they don't still own Adelaide United, do they? They did at one stage.
Yeah, I don't think they do,
think so.
but yes, they used to. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
They used to, yeah. So they've got the resources, and they've got the interest in owning Adelaide sports clubs. Yeah. Why don't they put forward, being the main sponsor for an Adelaide NRL franchise?
Definitely. And if they did that, I'd send them a free Adelaide Rams shirt just for doing that.
Yeah.
Go knock on their front door and go, listen here, here's an Adelaide Rams shirt. How do we get a team? Imagine it's that easy.
That's it. Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, but like you said, there's plenty of South Australian companies. We don't, not just South Australian companies as well. We can have companies from New South Wales supporting it.
100%.
Well, Queensland as well, because I do imagine that similar to the Storm, one of the rugby league states is going to have to put a lot of investment to developing South Australian rugby league. In the past, it has traditionally been New South Wales, especially the one of the clubs that really did a lot of big impact in South Australia was the Bulldogs. Yep. They did a lot of investment for juniors back in the day, way back in the day before the Rams and everything. Yeah. So I do think there's going to be a need for support from those states to get it up and running in Adelaide. But people say like it's not possible. The Rams had their chance. This and that, AFL state and all that crap. It's going to be one of the easiest franchises to set up. 100%. You're going to have instant fans, right? There's enough talent for 20 teams. Yeah. Right. There's enough talent.
You look at, of course, New South Wales Cup at the moment and Queensland Cup, and you look at all the players that aren't making first grade. There's easily 3 teams there.
Easily.
And then you got all the talent in the Super League, that Aussie players, get them back here, play local. I know that Super League have a massive budget over there with their salary cap, but I'm sure they want to come home, and there's so many players that are not going to get a run in first grade because there's only 17 teams.
And Volandes said that he was going to open up, people that didn't make the NFL draft or something like that.
Yeah, I've actually seen that. Yeah.
United States. So you're going to get all the American talent coming in very soon for the NRL. Yeah. It's impossible to run out of talent.
Yeah, and then you got rugby union players that like to come over to league. There's so many that the code switching back and forth. Yeah. I'm sure you get a couple of players that play even nines or something, rugby nines or rugby sevens. Yep. They could play league. I think there's a couple of players in NRL that used to play nines and now playing for NRL teams.
That's right.
Well, we've seen how well the American experiment went with Collingwood, with Mason Cox.
Yes.
Now well and truly entrenched with Collingwood. So definitely. I'm so sure there'd be a player that would be
for that club. They love him.
Yeah. So why not have an American in the Adelaide Rams or the Adelaide Club?
Yeah, a couple of Americans would be great. I think when the Adelaide NRL club gets started, of course, we're going to have to get a lot of talent from interstate and potentially overseas as well. PNG talent, America talent, Queensland and New South Wales talent. It's going to be a while before we have local talent, I think.
Yeah.
But it will happen. It's starting to happen with the Storm. you know, their junior competition has really grown.
Yeah. I remember watching a game a couple of years ago in Manly. It was
Yeah.
Manly versus Victorian Thunderbolts or something like that.
Yes.
And they were all Victorian-based, like, players. They got absolutely smashed, by the way. But it was local talent. So they'd obviously come through the Storm system, and that's their juniors for the future. Like, instead of buying from other states.
And if South Australian juniors see there is a team and there is a direct pathway from the juniors club to the Adelaide team, they're going to stick around, and well, if I keep 100%. Trying hard, keep playing, I'll make it to the Adelaide club.
Yeah, it's something to look forward to. Imagine as a kid, you go to school, you get your Adelaide Rams shirt on, and go, I'm going to play for them one day, and then we fast forward like 15 years, and then he's on the ground playing for the Rams.
That'd be magic. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it should happen. It really should happen.
Yeah.
And yeah, so having that NRL franchise is really going to be the thing that I think reinvigorates South Australian sport.
Yeah.
I think it'll be the biggest thing in South Australia for the next decade if we get an NRL club.
100%. Because as you say, kind of, so everyone in Adelaide, not everyone's going to like rugby league, but you got to think people from other states move to Adelaide, and they already like rugby league, so there's fans straight away. You know,
Yeah.
And then once you kind of get that word spreading about rugby league, then you'll get the fans at AFL and go, I'll give a go with that, watch a bit of the Rams game, and they go, this is great. Another fan tells his mate, come over, watch Friday night, and it just will build because there's only one Adelaide team, so
it will be a generational thing too. Those people will bring their game. Young kids will grow up
watching it. Yeah.
Younger kids now, maybe around the ages of 12 and upwards, they'll have they'll be sport to have the Adelaide Rams, and they'll grow up watching that. They'll really love the game.
Definitely.
And they'll make the Adelaide Rams be their footy club, and that's what we want to see.
I've got people on our Facebook page who are like, I was a member of the 97 team, and I went to every game, and I still got my Jumbuck pin, and they've been fans since day one. They are screaming for it, and then they can obviously pass that down to their kids and grandkids.
That's a bit sad, having your footy club fold.
Yeah, he's like, I see it all the time on our page. I was a fan. Watched when we flogged the Tigers. 52-0, or whatever it was, and it's sad because they haven't got it anymore. We need it back for them people. For all the OGs back in the day.
That's it.
Yeah, that's all we need. And it doesn't need to be the Rams as well. It doesn't have to be a continuation of the old Adelaide Rams Super League to NRL franchise. It can be a whole totally new thing.
Yeah, a new franchise. We could definitely do that.
New franchise, new mascot, new management, etc.
New energy,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Can potentially even be a relocated club.
Yeah.
That is probably, I think that's probably the third best option. The best option would be the Rams coming back. Second best would be a new franchise. Third would be a relocated club. And then the fourth sort of best situation, probably the worst situation, would be similar to what you said before, Hawthorn sort of situation, where you have a Sydney club play 6 to 10 games, home games in Adelaide.
Probably a team that's struggling to get home numbers because if they can't get any people to watch their games at home, in Adelaide, they'll get twice as many.
Yes, yeah, yep.
Kind of like the Giants in New South Wales in the AFL.
Yeah, they play in Canberra, don't they?
They play Canberra and they get more fans in Canberra than they do in Western Sydney.
And if you go watch a game of football in Canberra in winter, you have to be a fan because it is freezing.
Yeah, it's very freezing.
Yeah. Right. Canberra does get cold.
Oh, yeah. I'm born from Canberra, so I know all about the cold weather. Oh.
Wow. You've been everywhere, Simon, haven't you?
I've been, so Melbourne, Brisbane, Sydney, born in Canberra, in Adelaide. Yeah, I just love Australia. Love travelling it.
That's great. Yeah, I love that too. I love that. in regards to Adelaide NRL Club, like we've all just discussed, it honestly will be the best thing, not just for the game, but for the state of South Australia. It's going to unite all the fans. It's going to be extremely an extremely successful franchise. And whether or not it's a relocated club or a new franchise, I just see it being. I'm just like surprised that it hasn't been done yet.
Yeah, 100%, and it needs to be done. All right, they've got to look at the big picture. There's so much they can do in Adelaide, so much. There's no limit.
And,
That's right.
And having the word national, it's just like the AFL too. They've now got a team in Tasmania. They can basically call it a totally national competition. At the moment, how can the NRL say they're national when it seems to be all eastern states and
and they talk about a Perth team, which is fair enough. I think they need a team as well. But if you have a Perth team, you've got to have an Adelaide team as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Make it national, as you said with the AFL. I don't know if we'd ever get a team in Tasmania for rugby league.
Be interesting, but no.
I definitely feel Adelaide and definitely Perth need a team. And there's 2 more teams that brings 19, and the 20th team that's up for debate. I've heard a lot of people talk about the Bears, a second New Zealand team, which it would be great to have that rivalry in South and North Island. I don't think Melbourne need another team, and I don't think Brisbane need another team.
No.
Or maybe
I would be
South Pacific team as well, or NT. Yeah.
I'd be impressed if the NRL with their 3-team expansion to 20, if they did Perth, Adelaide, and Hobart.
Yeah.
If they actually were bold enough
to go Hobart, that'd be interesting because I haven't really heard anything about. Well, no one's really talked about Tasmania as an option.
No, not in the rugby league sense. No.
I don't even really seen how the numbers have been at the Hawthorn games. Is it been packed? Like many people go out and watch sport in Tasmania? Or?
From my latest sources and from my understanding of the Tasmanian sporting landscape, it's that AFL is pretty popular in Tasmania. Like it's a traditional footy state.
Yeah.
But because there hasn't been an AFL team for a long time, and a lot of the bids that they had were unsuccessful, and that the AFL went to the expansion states before having a team in Tasmania. The basketball team.
Yeah, I was just about to say that the basketball team they got last year before.
Jack jumpers,
They got super popular, and basketball participation got really up, and popularity for basketball.
So I'm guessing it would be the same thing as Adelaide. If Tasmania got a team in NRL and they were successful, they'd jump behind it. Because obviously it's the same thing, one town, one state.
Yeah.
Or one team, one state. There's no one else. Like it's just,
NRL,
never talked
the NRL really missed an opportunity because, the AFL was fumbling around for decades.
Definitely, yeah.
About the AFL team. If the NRL, went, all right, we'll set up a franchise in Tasmania in like the 2010s. Wait, Tasmania would be an NRL
Rugby
state.
League city, yeah.
There's no way they could have this Tasmanian AFL team come in.
No way.
Now, NRL really missed an opportunity to truly get one on the AFL in that regard. So, like I said, the NRL was extremely short-sighted.
Yeah. I really wish I could have a chat to him. Oh, I'd give him 2 cents worth. 100%. Yeah. I bet listen here,
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully State of Origin and obviously the success for the Dolphins will kind of change their minds about Adelaide. And obviously they've been thinking about it because we sent on that news 2032. Adelaide's got their name in the ring. We just got to get that backing, get that support, get everyone interested, and I reckon it can happen. It can happen sooner rather than later. Really.
Adelaide's hungry for NRL.
Definitely. I can't wait for Origin next Wednesday because its atmosphere is going to be crazy at Adelaide Oval.
That's right.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yes, this time next week we'll be all in our seats and at Adelaide Oval, and
I'll be wearing my Adelaide Rams Queensland Bring Back the Rams shirt.
Love it.
I might be the only. I know there'll be a few Queensland fans here, but I think New South Wales will definitely overpower us. Who you tipping, Aidan, for game 1? And by how much? I'd love to know this.
Do you want my honest opinion? I think Queensland will win game 1. Actually, I think Queensland will win game 1. By how many? By how many points? maybe 3 tries. You know, I think it'll be Queensland's game, to be honest.
It'll be interesting to see. Listen back to this next week and see if you're actually right. So I'm going to go Queensland by 8. I think they'll win by 8 points. I think the man of the match, I think, will be Cameron Munster. I think he'll have a great game. Darren, who do you think will win and how much by? I'd like to hear this.
Well, I must confess I'm a one-eyed Blues supporter, being originally from New South Wales.
Won't hold that against you.
Thank you. So I'd love to see a New South Wales victory, and I'd say by two tries. Yeah.
So you're going to go New South Wales by 2 tries?
Yeah.
But you think
Queensland
going to win?
I think it will be close. I'm just hoping Blues just get over the line. Yeah.
I think the thing with New South Wales will be Turbo and Latrell in the centres. That is a lethal combination. They can roam around. Teddy's been a bit quiet, but he'll step up for Origin. So having them 3 like kind of roaming around, that's going to be dangerous. And then the forward battle, it's going to be a great game. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Definitely. Do we know when the teams are coming to Adelaide?
Queensland's
currently...
They're in on the Gold Coast, Sanctuary Cove. That's where they train every year.
Yep.
I think Sunday, Monday they're coming up. I know there's a few guys that will do some media commitments Tuesday next week. But yeah, I'll find out and I'll stalk them for you. Maybe trip over Turbo and he can do his hamstring again, even though I love him. But yeah, it'll be great to see him down and all the support behind Origin in South Australia.
Definitely, absolutely.
Aidan, you're not going to be. You're going to Game 3, yeah?
Yep, I'm going to try and make it to Game 3. If I can by some miracle make it to Game 1, I definitely will.
Yeah. Well, maybe in Game 3 you can wear your Adelaide Rams shirt that you're going to buy, yeah?
I think so. I think I'll be repping. The Rams.
Oh, you definitely got a lot of merchandise. I've seen you wearing your jackets and your hats, so you've got plenty of Rams stuff.
I got some emoji stuff. I think I'll rock some Ram stuff.
Very good.
I am with Darren on as being a Blues fan, however.
Yes, I was. Also, you're a Melbourne fan supporter, yes?
I do like the Storm. I do also like the Tigers.
Can I just say one thing about the Storm then? Just I've got 2 words for you. 40-0, and that's all I'll say.
Okay.
Now you know who I go for.
All right, here we go. Yeah, in regards to the Storm, I do like the Storm, but you know, the Storm, it's like you said, it's a very Victorian club.
Yeah.
And I think when Adelaide comes in, I'm going to be all over Adelaide.
Yeah. You said you like the Tigers as well, which is good.
I do like the Tigers.
They're a team that I kind of hold close to my heart as well. I've got a great mate who goes for the Tigers, and when they won the weekend, like 66-18, I was messaging him going, like, how good is this? Because they've had some struggles, and it's so good to see them go well. Because they were struggling. I was like, oh, this is not looking good. And they won 3 in a row, beat the Premiers. Like, that's great to see.
That's right. Yeah, I do like the Tigers. I like what they've done with their women's sort of development and getting into the NRLW in 2023.
Yeah.
They got inaugural memberships coming out. I got myself one of those.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got myself one of the inaugural memberships for. It's great. I feel like it's great to be part of something from the start.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm really keen on an Adelaide NRL club coming in, because I want to be a member from the start.
Yeah.
And be foundation members, similar to like what Dolphins had in when did they join? 2020. Sorry, 2022. They had the foundation memberships going out.
Yeah.
And so, I've done that. And who knows? Maybe next year I'll make the men's team my team. But now we'll see how the Storm goes. But yes, New South Wales. I do support New South Wales because New South Wales was the first state. I'm born from South Australia.
Yeah. But
it was the first state other than South Australia that I lived in. First place I got my driver's license, like my first international interstate driver's license. So on that technicality, I have to go for Blues.
True. Well, I better tell you the reason why I go for Queensland, because I'm from Canberra, okay?
Yeah.
Born in Canberra, lovely place.
Yes.
I wouldn't go there ever again. But Mal Meninga, Raiders player, obviously Queensland. Yeah. I was a massive Mal Meninga fan as a kid. I used to see him around Canberra, and like I just get starstruck. And we had a few players, Queenslanders in the Raiders team, Gary Belcher, and then obviously you had like the New South Wales players, Ricky Stewart, Bradley Clyde, all that. But I was always a Mal Meninga fan. For a while there, I kind of strayed from Queensland and went for New South Wales due to they bullying, but peer pressure from this kids at school. But I'm back Queensland, and I lived there for 7 years. Queensland's a great state to live.
Yeah, it is.
People are great. It never rains in Queensland either.
No.
I do like Queensland. I like Gold Coast.
Yes.
Yeah, I lived on the Gold Coast too. That's another place I've lived. There you go.
Yeah, beautiful.
Excellent.
How are we going for time? We must be wrapping up soon.
Yeah, getting close.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so guys, sort of like to wrap things up and final thoughts.
Yep.
Origin coming to South Australia, to Adelaide. It's going to be a big hit. It's going to be a sellout. It's going to, reignite the interest in rugby league. Adelaide Rugby League, Adelaide NRL team. That's going to be, something that we really want to fight for. We want to get one of those 3 expansion spots. We want to get an Adelaide Rugby League team coming in, whether it's the Rams, a new franchise, or a relocated club. Lots of contenders for relocated clubs. We can talk about that next time.
Definitely, we can talk about it for an hour about relocated clubs. Definitely.
Absolutely, and support from the government as well. That's really what we need. And continuing the interest after Origin, I think, is going to be something that we need to do.
Keep it
Keep it fresh. Keep it going.
With the Origin next week, there's still tickets available. So if people are in South Australia, there's plenty of tickets available, and they're pretty cheap. I'm going to buy an extra 2 for a couple of friends to go because they've never seen a rugby league game. So if you haven't got tickets and you want to go, buy them. It'd be a great opportunity to watch a great game of football.
Oh, Jeff.
Even if you're a league fan, go. Enjoy it. It'll be fun because you're seeing basically the pinnacle of rugby league in Origin.
There's nothing better after you see Origin. You'd be like, what have I been doing my whole life? This is a great game. Yeah.
Exactly.
Just the only thing we miss is a bit of biff. That's something I miss in the Origin. A couple of punch ups, but you can't do that anymore.
No.
All I can say is make sure you follow us on our Facebook, Instagram pages. Bring back the Rams and sign a petition, please. Great.
Yep, sign our petition. We want to get to 3,000 signs. We want to get this into the Parliament of SA. We want the SA government to support us. So let's do it.
Definitely. Now, this is the Rampage League podcast. It'll come out weekly. But saying that, due to State of Origin, we won't be here next week.
We'll be busy. We'll be very busy.
Very busy. And so we'll be back in a couple of weeks. But from now on, all podcasts will come out early Thursdays on all your favourite podcast platforms. Spotify, Apple, Google, everywhere you can get your podcasts will be available.
It's actually funny you talk about that. This is my first ever podcast. I've never listened to a podcast before, and I've actually recorded a podcast, but never listened to one.
Oh, right.
So I might listen to this one on repeat and see what I sound like, but this is my first podcast, so I'm no longer a podcast virgin. There you go.
Excellent.
Thanks,
Yes.
Aidan.
All right.
My cherry.
Auckland to take the kickoff. Gene Namu taking the start, and Adelaide to bring it out from their own line. And met by some very willing Auckland defence and pushed back a couple of metres. Kerrod Walters just goes from dubbing half to pick up Darren Doherty. 25 metres out from his own line.
As now the Adelaide Rams make their way out onto Marathon Stadium for the first time. Again, they've got their alternative strip. The yellow and the blue. Kerrod Walters leading this side out. His last match for the Rams. Let's have a look at their starting lineup for today. And from the back, a mixture of some experienced players and some young up-and-comers, the likes of Rod Jensen on the wing and Dion Bird at fullback. Harves, Williamson and Goldthorpe. And a pack, as I mentioned, Kerrod Walters captain.
Himself for the high kick towards Stilati's wing. Adelaide go forward, it'll come down the Rams' way. Kicked again by Quinn, picked up by Stacey Jones. Quinn chases and makes the tackle.
Ran very well from dummy half.
Kerrod Walters, the NEC man of the match. The Adelaide Rams get home by 2. Full-time score, Adelaide 22, Auckland 20.